Hello, ClassIn teachers. In this video, I'm going to show you another way that you can display your classroom while you're teaching your students. This is called the camera area hide. So we're going to hide the camera area. So what is the camera area? Well, that's just the area up top where you and your student's camera video is showing and all the space that is next to it. So when you have a lesson and you make it full screen, you'll notice the lesson never fills this top camera area. The lesson always displays under you. So even though you and your student are up top, you're losing a lot of space where your lesson could be. So this is going to be a way that you can maximize the space for your lesson so it's easier for you and the student to see it. So first, let's take a look at how we hide the camera area. So first thing I'm going to do is pull me and my student down into the lesson. So notice when I do that, I have all that space up top with nothing there. It's a waste of space. So when I go to my settings up top, which is going to be those 4 little squares, click on the settings, and then you're going to see under other settings, camera area show and hide. So right now we are showing the camera area. We can see it. So see what happens when I hide the camera area. So now my lesson is filling all of the space in the classroom. So why is that a good thing? Well, obviously it's bigger. So even though I have a large monitor, I don't really need the lesson to be bigger for myself, but as we know, most of our students are going to be using tablets. So tablets are going to be a lot smaller for our student, and if there's any writing, especially for our older students that are reading more challenging stories, the text is always a lot smaller for those students. So this is going to make the text and the pictures and everything in your lesson appear bigger for them, which is always going to be a benefit. So now I don't have that area to hide anymore. So now me and my student will stay on top of the lesson. So that's kind of a negative to this. You have no space for you and your student to go. So the way I use it is once I start my lesson and I hide the camera area, I do my introductions with us pretty large like this, and then I just make me and my student a little bit smaller. I'm still bigger than what I would have been in that camera area, but I'm now small enough to where I'm able to move myself around the lesson. So as I go through, I can move myself and my student away from the words, away from the pictures that I want to draw attention to. So for most lessons, it's not too difficult. I can just move away from the words, move away from the pictures I want them to see, and they can see all the images a lot clearer and a lot bigger. Once you get to a story, so let me go to my story. If it's a younger student, the words are going to be a lot less, so I have a lot more space for me to move my student and myself. If I was reading a story with lots of writing, I'm going to have to move myself a lot more. I might have to move down while we're reading the top part of the story, and then I might have to move ourselves up while we read the bottom part of the story. So that's kind of a con as well. You're going to be moving yourself around a lot more in the lesson, but I do that a lot anyway. I like to engage with the lesson with our video boxes. We can use it for conversation. We can use it to pretend like we're one of the characters. So I might do this. I am Sam. And then I can have the student go over and they could be Sam. I am Sam. So that's a pro or a benefit of using this method. You're more likely to interact with your lessons and make it more fun and more engaging for the student. So now let's talk about some other things that are important to know about this. One, you could switch back and forth if you want at any time. So let's say you try this out with a few slides and you're like, I don't like this. I don't like having to move my camera boxes around all the time. All you have to do is go back to the settings, same place, and click show. Now you can pop yourself back up and you can continue your lesson. Or you can go back down and then hide it again. Some people like to use the window layouts. If you saw one of my other videos, the window layouts is also up here in the 4 squares under the settings, where you can choose where you want your video box to be and the lesson to be. You could still use the window layouts with the hiding of the camera area. So let me show you with my split screen 3 boxes. This one has the lesson on the left, so I'm going to shift click, and then I could put me and my student on the side. So I'm still using my camera area. I'm still using the 3 boxes, and my video or my lesson is still going to be larger this way, but it's not going to be as large if you filled the whole screen. So you could still use this if this is a method that you like using in your classroom. Okay, so another few things that you need to know. First, let me go back to showing my camera area. The first thing that is super important to remember when doing this is you must move yourself and your student out of the camera area before hiding. And I will show you why. This is what happens. So I'm up here, my student's up here, and now I'm going to hide the camera area. Oh no! Where did we go? We are gone. So now the student cannot see me, I cannot see the student, and we can't hear each other either when we're in the classroom if we are hidden. So that's okay. If you make that mistake, just click show and you come back and then move yourselves down. You have to move yourselves out of the camera area before you hide it. So now I can hide my camera area. Second thing to know, if your student loses connection or accidentally exits the class while you are in this mode, I will show you what will happen. So now here's my student. Oh no, my student's gone. It says Kendall student left. She's gone. Where did she go? So now I'm waiting for my student to come back. Where is my student? Oh, I got a little pop-up. Kendall student entered classroom, but I don't see my student. Well, if your student leaves and enters and that camera area is hidden, your student is also hidden. When they come back, remember you always start in the camera area. Since it's hidden, the student cannot be seen. So the student can see me and hear me, but I cannot see or hear the student. So what do? Just like before, you just have to go back, show. Now there's my student, bring them down, and then you can hide it again. So if your student happens to leave, loses connection during class, what I would do is just go ahead and click show, wait for your student to return, and then start your lesson again. That way you know when they return in case that little pop-up does not show up for your student. So hopefully this is another tool that you can use in your classroom. Try it out. If you like it, awesome. If you don't, then just don't use it. But hopefully this will be a fun way for you to engage and interact with your lessons with your student and, like I said, make it a lot easier for them to see the lesson and interact with the lesson. Happy teaching, everyone. Goodbye.